Hello everybody, welcome back to my channel. Belinda here from Visualized NZ, and it's another Trash Craft Tuesday coming at you. I've had an idea for what I was going to do today for several days, and it's been quite hard to keep it for today because I was super keen to see whether I could make it work. So before I get into that, I just wanted to show you this page in my journal. This is my personal journal, and this is what I made in the last Trash Craft Tuesday using light bulb packaging. And I just wanted to show you that these things do get used and are very usable. So it's a belly band with this cool glitter window here, and I made a journal card which I journaled on the back of, and then I had a couple of images from the day, photographs from the day that I wanted to include, so I put those on another journal card and just tucked in there behind the belly band. So that's from last week, and I just really love it in my journal there. So that was the inside packaging from a light bulb box, and if you haven't seen the videos, Lydia from February and June, her YouTube channel February and June, and I have swapped a box load of trash with each other. And so this month I'm working with the trash that she sent me, and she is doing videos on the trash that I sent her. So she's doing Trash Craft Thursday. So if you haven't seen her videos, pop along. She's doing some super fun things, and it's really pushing me to challenge myself as well to make sure I'm living up to the game, so to speak. So if you haven't seen those, we both did an unboxing video of unboxing our scraps and our trash that we'd sent each other, and then we're both doing Scrappy September videos where we're doing projects using up scraps and scraps that we've sent each other as well. And we're also doing the collab with Trash Craft Tuesday. So Trash Craft Tuesday is my normal day for doing this, and she's joining me for the month but doing it on a Thursday. So make sure you subscribe to both of our channels if you want to see all the action that's happening with this kind of focus on recycling and using these goodies, which are free goodies, for our journaling, whether you're a journal maker or a personal journaler or both. Then you'll find ideas that you can utilize in what you do. So for today, I want to make something out of the light bulb box. So I've got it here, and I'm just going to cut it down one of these seams. I'm looking for the one where it's overlapped. So I'm going to open it out, and I'm thinking I should be able to get 2 items out of this. I don't know whether I'll get done both on camera. We shall see. So please do excuse the noise of the wind if you can hear that. I suspect you probably can. We're supposed to be in for some wild weather today with thunderstorms and hail. So far we haven't got that, we've just got the wind, but it is quite blustery outside. And because I'm in an old house, it's now over 100 years old, then it's not soundproofed. So all the noises outside translate to inside. So I don't think we'll get hail while I'm videoing, but you never know. It's clear blue skies at the moment. Okay, so I've just trimmed it down to one piece that folds in half, and I'll do the same with this one. So I'm trimming off the tabs because I don't need those folding tabs. I don't know if I'll end up using those bits of card on something else or not. Now this one's got the seam where the card overlaps and was glued down, so I'm just going to try and carefully peel that off because I don't want that in my finished article. So that one bit I can get rid of. Right. Oh, there's a bit more. So it's leaving quite a mucky edge there, but I think it will be okay. I think we can deal with that. So first up, actually I might use this bit first since it's a bit funky along the edge. Then if I muck up, I'm mucking up one that's not too critical. So there's a little bit of an edge which you probably can't see where it's been creased to make the box, and I'm just going to take those off because I want it to be nice and clean on the edge, and hopefully I'm cutting straight. And this side as well. Right, and then I'll leave, this one's got a little bit of a folded edge as well, which I'll leave for the time being. Please excuse me, I'm still a little throaty from having COVID. I think I'm almost over it now. But joy of joys, I've gone straight into having an ear infection. So I'm a bit lightheaded and dizzy at the moment. Taking painkillers for the pain, and I'm just hoping it's going to go away. Last time I had to have antibiotics, and I just really can't be bothered going to the doctor and getting seen and everything, so I'm hoping it's just going to go away on its own. But I guess I ended up with it because my immune system's been down with having COVID. So that's super annoying and making it a bit hard to concentrate as well. Right, I'm just going to trim that down so they're both the same size, although it won't actually matter, but no, just so I'm working with an even base to start with. And I see I didn't cut that straight, so I'm just going to go in and try and straighten that a bit. If I keep going, I'm going to end up with no card left. That would not be surprising. Okay, what I've got in front of me here is some scraps from out of my scrap bin. Oops, they're not scraps. Scraps out of my scrap bin, and some scraps that Lydia sent me as well. So hoping to use those in this project. And what I'm going to do is I am going to make a mini file folder. That's my aim. I've never made one in my life, so hopefully it works. So first off, I'm going to decide which one's my front and my back. I don't think it matters. Although if I do this as my, do this nice side as my back. And I'm using an envelope punch board to create my file tab. And hopefully this punches through card. I have not tested this. Oh, not a problem. It was easy peasy. And then decide how big I want my tab. So I'll take it about, oh, there. That was a bit harder. Okay, so that's going to be my tab. And I'm just going to trim up these side edges so they're nice and flat. So this is really going to be a mini one because the size of the card I'm working with is small. But you can certainly make bigger ones if you choose a bigger box. But I really wanted to use this little light bulb box. Now I'm just going to draw along the top edge of that and meet those together because I want to trim that down. So it's level with the shorter part of here. I want it level with those, and that'll get rid of most of that funky edge, which is cool. Like so. Right, so we've got our little file folder like so. So now I think next step will be to cover it. So grab my scraps back, and what colours do I want to do? This is a really pretty bit from Lydia. Do I want to do it all one or do it in a couple of different scraps? Kind of like the idea of putting that down there, so I'm going to go with that. So hopefully everyone's having a good day. Just going to trim that off a bit before I stick it down so I'm not gluing paper unnecessarily. Oops, sorry guys, just wobbling the camera a little bit there, which I was sure was away from the desk when I started filming, so not quite sure what happened there. Hope I didn't make you seasick when I was just moving the camera there to make sure it didn't wobble too much again. Right, so I'm just going to lay this down. This is really pretty, this bit of paper. Thank you, Lydia, for the scrap. It's super lovely. And this is, I believe, part of her own digital, so it'd be really nice to use up some of that. And this will be something that will just get tucked into a pocket once it's finished and provide some journaling space. That looks super cool, and I like the way these papers complement each other. Very nice. Do I want to put, yep, I think I will change that round and put a bit of that lighter yellow, brighter yellow at the other end, so I don't end up losing it all. There we go. Super fun. Right, I'm going to trim off those overhangs. And around our little curve. Okay, now these bits that I've trimmed off, which are covered in glue, I am just going to take a moment, grab out my, oops, sorry, I just caused an avalanche there and tipped the camera. You're getting a bit of a rough ride today, aren't you? Okay, this is a old phone book that I'm just putting down scraps of paper in random collages, and I have been using this lately in some of my videos. Super fun and very handy, and these bits that have got glue on, it's like, rather than throw them out, it's nice to be able to put them to some use. And even the smaller scraps I often pop in there, so I thought I'd just take a moment to do that since they already had glue on them. Right, so far so good. Just pop my lid on the glue. Now I do want to round the corners on the front of this, so this is the front, so I'm going to round the corners like so, get all the little bits out, and I think I'm going to distress it just because that's my personal preference, and it will get rid of any white edges that are still showing as well, which is perfect. Right, and I'm also going to do the inside because I'm not going to cover the inside. It's this really cool pale grey brown sort of colour, which is already perfectly wonderful for writing on. It's nice and matte, so I'm just going to edge that so that can be written inside of, but I haven't finished yet. I'm just going to carefully bend that back in half. Oh, that's super cute. Already, I just think that's really cute. So this little file folder that can tuck into a pocket. But when we have file folders, they're usually filled with things. They're made to store papers, aren't they? And they've got those little prongy bits that stick out the middle, and you put your papers on and then they fold over and tie in somehow. So I really wanted to encapsulate that within this project. So I'm going to make, actually no, I won't do that yet. I need my pages first. So I need paper. So let me just grab out some paper from my scrap bag of various writing papers. So I'm just thinking I'll put just a couple of pages in it. So this I think is going to work if I trim it down just a little bit. So that's about the right length, but we need to make it a bit narrower. So let's go about there. And line it up on my cutting mat and give it a trim down. So what's on everybody's crafting desk today? Are you participating in Scrappy September? There is 2 videos so far. So I did a Scrappy action last Monday, which is a little activity for you to participate in if you choose to. And then this week on Monday, which is yesterday, Lydia did a Scrappy action number 2. So that was super cool. She made the most adorable little scrappy house. It's so cool. And I have yet to come up with my response to that challenge. So that should be up on Friday. That's the plan, all going according to plan if my ear doesn't get any worse. Oh boy, I hope it doesn't. I'm kind of being totally over being sick. Getting a bit tiresome. Right, so that's going to go about there. And I'm just going to make a couple of slits, just so everything lines up. So I'm going to go there. Oh, that's very, very hard. And another one about here. So I'm just eyeballing this, as you can see. Just making sure that those cuts go right through the card. Yep, I might need to extend them a little bit. And what I'm trying to attempt is replicate the little file holders that hold the papers into the folder. You certainly don't need to do this step if you don't want to. You could just leave it as a cute little folder, which is super cute. Right, now I'm going to use some ribbon. So what colour ribbon? I've got a whole heap and I use 3mm satin ribbon. And I just grabbed out a few colours. Maybe the neon pink. Let's go with something bright and fun and happy. So this is short length, so it should be just about right for this project. And I'm going to attempt to push it through the little slits I've made. And that's going to be absolutely the hardest part of this. Oops, and I've torn it. I was a bit too forceful. Okay, that's all right. I've got a way to fix that. So pull that through and now try and get the other end through without doing the same thing. There's probably a much easier way of doing this, but I'm just kind of making it up as I go along here. Hopefully I don't rip this side. Not the end of the world though, because I do have a plan. Yep, got that one in. Cool. Okay. Now I'm going to grab my hole punch over here. Sorry, I just had to give my nose a little bit of a wipe. Right, no, I think the hole punch is going to end up being too big. Or maybe not. Right, I'm going to punch those. Okay, and they will thread on to my ribbons, and I will trim the ends where I've pushed them through with a pencil. But if I just did it like this, then my pages are probably going to rip. So if I just tied it like that, they're most likely going to rip out quite easily. So hopefully I've left myself enough room. So I'm going to make hole reinforcers. Now you can buy them. We used to buy them when I was at school, and put them on your pages to make sure they didn't rip out of your folders when you were taking things to and from school. But I don't have any, so I've got this little bit left over from covering the folder. So I'm going to punch, how many do I need? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Hopefully I can get 6 out of this bit. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. There we go. So this is my, I'll just tell you the size of it. Does it say? CP1 is the size of it in this Carl brand. And it's about 12 millimeters, half an inch circle, which is the perfect size for that, for doing this. And then out of the center of each of these, I use my single hole punch to punch a hole as near the middle as what I can get. And then a little bit of glue stick. And you can make these out of whatever paper. You can distress them. I'm not going to worry about distressing them. And then place them over your corresponding hole in your paper, and you've got straight away a lovely custom made matching hole reinforcer. Can be a little bit fiddly to do, but not too bad. Oops. Just be careful when you're applying the glue that you don't gouge out the top of your glue, because that's super easy to do. Right, there's one done. So I'll just go through now and punch the holes in the rest of them. And they don't have to be completely centered. These certainly aren't. They're quite difficult actually to get properly centered, and it doesn't actually matter. They are handmade and they provide a really lovely look as well. There we go. And this hole punch that I'm using, I got it on special at Kmart. It was half price, so it cost me $1. So even at full price, if you paid a couple of dollars, it's a really, really useful piece of equipment, and I've had it a few years now. So well worth the price I paid, and to be honest, at $2 I would have bought it as well. It's just that Kmart's not a place I get to very often. Please excuse the frog in my throat. Right, now I'm just going to thread the ribbon through this and put one on my file folder, and this will just fix that little bit where I tore it putting the ribbon through. And if nothing else, it will distract from the fact that there's a rip there. So people are more likely, and this is going in my journal, so it would only be me, people would look and see the decoration rather than the tear underneath. Right, there we go. So put my pages back on. Thread it through the ribbon. Like so, and then tie it in a bow. And that's my answer to the little posts that hold the papers in the file folder. Do it in little, so they're just in there loosely, and trim off those ends, give them a nice angle so they don't fray too badly, and cut off the bits where I made pencil marks. There, and that also gives the option of, I could swap out the pages, I could add more pages in, and I've actually put those pages together around the wrong way because they're not sitting flat. Oops, just give that a press down, the hole reinforces. And there we have a cute little file folder with some writing paper in. Isn't that super cute? I think that's just adorable. I'm so happy with that. It actually worked how I envisaged. So I'm going to grab now this other one and I'm going to do it again. So I think we've got plenty of time to do this one as well. So again, I might make this one a little bit shorter, just to give it a different look, a different feel. Well, that's roughly straight. And trim up this side as well, a little bit less. That's good enough. Okay. Right. So create my, just put my hole punch away out of the way. Create my tab. So this time I might make my tab on the other side, just for a little bit difference. And you can make it as wide or as narrow as you want, your tab top. And if you don't have a envelope punch board, or I think there's a punch board from We Are Memory Keepers that does a file tab. If you don't have one of those either, then you can just find something to draw around or create your own and just trim it up with a pair of scissors to create the same thing. Here we go. So draw my line where I need to trim the back to, sorry, the front. So it actually is quite a quick little project. I wasn't sure how long it was going to take to do this, but I'm really happy with how it's turned out. I think it's cute. So if you do make some yourself out of whatever cardboard you've got, whatever packaging, etc., I'd love to see what you come up with and your version of this. Right, now I'm going to use my corner rounder function on this, on the envelope punch board. I sometimes forget that it's got this ability, although when my corner rounder broke, that's all I had to use, so I'm surprised I forget. Right, I might, okay, can I, because I've cut that off, I don't think I'll be able to round that corner. No, I won't be able to, so I'll just leave the back one square. If I wanted to round the back corners, then you'd need to do that before you create your file tab on the top. Okay, right, now what am I going to cover this with? I've got some more scraps here from Lydia, and I do like the idea of a blue one. Not quite big enough to do the whole thing. Also got this spotty paper, which is so pretty. Okay, can I get that? Actually, what I'm thinking is if I go right down the middle with that, and then I can put a different paper down both edges. That will work. So just roughly trim it so I know where to glue to. So I'd love to hear your feedback on Scrappy September. Are you enjoying it? Are there things that you would like to see from us? Is there, you know, anything that we're missing or could add to what we're doing? We're certainly open to ideas from people. It has been a real shame that both of us have been under the weather during it. Certainly was not in our plan, and both got a bit frustrated by that whole being sick business, but not much you can do about it. It's just the way things are. Right, now what do I want to put down the edges? It's quite pretty. I think I get enough out of that for 2 sides. I think so. Let's go for it. This has got glitter on, so it's very pretty. Use that straight side there. Yep. Yeah, so we love hearing from you guys as to how you're finding things, what you're enjoying, what you'd like to see. It's actually quite challenging coming up with things for a month collaboration. Super fun though, like, don't get me wrong, it's super fun and the challenge is good. But we're certainly more than happy to take suggestions as well. Right. Here comes that frog again. Right. That's pretty. I like that. Very pretty. So using up some scraps is great. All good for Scrappy September. Right, I'm going to pull back my book. Just stick my bits of paper in. So again, just trimming around the edges of the overhang. Right, stick that bit down. Get rid of that thin narrow strip because that's only going to end up lifting anyway. Cool. Oops, stuck to my scissors. Trying to turn it to get it the right way to trim it. There we go, that's it. Just peel off those little slivers, throw those away, and then stick the rest in my Scrappy collage book. So I'll just give you a wee flip through while I'm here. So this is a blue page, got it going. This one I think's finished. It's all covered apart from this picture of cat and dog that I left on the page that I liked. There's a neutral page. This is a shiny page. Text and music, that's still got some gaps to fill. That one's full. That was a mix of things. That's a more sort of plain page. And they're just super handy. They're like mini masterboards. So they're great to grab and cut up into tags and things when I need to. So that's that. Right, let's grab this back. And I think everything is ready now. Just fold that in half. And then we've got another cute as little file folder. So again, I'm going to go around that with my distress ink. Just give it a bit of a definition around the edges. Oops, that glue's not quite dry on that, so it's pulled up a bit. So it's always preferable to let the glue dry before you try folding. So I did grab that a bit soon. It's not quite dry. So there we go. So whether you leave it plain like this, I didn't do the inside, or whether you add the papers like my first version, there's ways to make it your own, to treat it how you like. Like this is perfectly, you know, you can write in that. You could do some journaling in that very, very easily, or you could just tuck in some paper that sits inside it and then sits in the pocket when you put it in a pocket. You could do some label on the tab, or you could stamp on the tab or do something there. So there we go, we've got two, one slightly shorter or narrower than the other because I wanted to do a different size, but they are super, super cute. I think they're wonderful. Now, do I have a pocket I can tuck it in to show? They were a lot of fun too. Just have I got a pocket here? I'm not sure if I do actually. Here we go. Here's a pocket in my journal. It's already got quite a lot in it. But just so you can see, tuck into a pocket like that. I mean, how super cute. And you can take them out and read, or you could stick a photo in, or in this one, write your little notes. Oh yeah, that's super cute. Really happy with those. I hope that is something that will inspire you. Like I said, I would love to see if you make anything like this and tag me in it on Facebook, in our group, in my group Visual Vibes, or you can tag Lydia and I on Instagram. She's February and June and I'm Visualized NZ. I'd love to see what you do with this. Thanks for joining me today, and I'll see you in the next video. See ya.